everyone, and welcome back to Luna's Life Safaa story. I've just jumped on here to give you a quick rundown of my past week and get into this video. Last week was Luna's first angel anniversary and I crashed. I found it really difficult. My heart felt physically broken. I tried to make the best out of a bad situation, but it was really, really difficult. And I've really struggled, and yeah, it's been tough. But I'm back today, and I just wanted to kind of speak on this situation that I have been in, and it's kind of been highlighted to me again recently, just before Luna's first Memorial Day, her Angel Day, and I have spoken about things that I suffer with, especially like physically, side effects, things like that, but I do find that when I am extremely down and sad and my mood is very low, that I do get other things, mouth ulcers, etc. And there is a particular thing that I seem to suffer from quite a lot. It's not a major health complication, but it's something that's very inconvenient. And obviously was feeling really low mood, and a couple of days before I started to notice that I felt like it was happening again. So my instant panic was that I was going to have to go back into hospital and end up having an operation, because I've had to have it operated on before. So I freaked and I thought that I am going to have to go back to that hospital. I'm going to have to be made to go back to that hospital on that day, because that day I didn't want to go. I was forced. I had no choice. So the fact that I do now have a choice and stuff, yeah, it did like massively play on my mind, and I got really scared, and then that worsened my mood. Is worsened a word? Worsened my mood. My vocab. But yeah, it was really tough. However, I then thought about a situation where I actually did have to go into hospital just after Luna passed away. And luckily this time it didn't get to that point. I got to see the doctors and I was able to get antibiotics and medication, but the last time I wasn't able to. However, there were certain things that were put in place for me, and things that I did, and I just wanted to share with you guys, just because people actually do care and people will understand if like one of your main triggers is the hospital, ambulances, things like that. You just kind of have to be open. And I just want to make a disclaimer. I haven't always had a good experience with the NHS. However, I am trying to rebuild my relationship with the NHS, considering I'm having to use so many health professionals from it, and I am grateful for what they're doing for me. So I just wanted to highlight the good points of things that they have done, and this might not be in everybody's case, but you will come across at least one person that will understand. However, I did many steps to make sure that everyone was aware that I wasn't going to deal with this very well. I want to get straight into it and the things that I did. So the first thing that I want to talk about is when I realised I had like an issue and that something wasn't quite right. I contacted my doctor. My doctor did say to me, it's too far gone, like you're gonna have to go to a hospital and get it looked at and seen. So she put a note on the system before I left, just saying she does have to be seen, she does have anxiety, she does have depression, she does have PTSD to do with hospitals and ambulances, sirens, etc. She might not cope very well, please just be mindful, which is slightly reassuring before me actually going. So that was the first thing. The second thing that I did is when I got home, I called NHS 111. And when I spoke to the guy, I explained everything. I just said that if they could put a note on the system just to let the hospital that I'm going to, the particular hospital I'm going to, let them know, just to give them the heads up. So that was fine. He was able to do that. He then did explain to me that I should just write down all my information. So if I just have a piece of paper, so that's what I did. I wrote down all my information, my date of birth, my address, etc. I then wrote down why I have anxiety, depression, PTSD, and why I'm acting weird because I was moving erratic. So that was put down, and then I also then wrote about some of my triggers, and then actually what the problem was, just because I don't know if anybody else who deals with anxiety or PTSD, it can literally take over your body and you can't speak. And you freeze and you are not there and you're just staring at walls because you're trying to not allow yourself to bubble over. So they're all the things that I did. Now I went with my sister to A&E, and due to COVID, people are not allowed to come in with you. So she waited outside and I went in. I handed the note when I got to the desk. They read it, and I did just point and just say that my sister is outside. So they actually granted her and allowed her to come in, which was a massive comfort for me. And it really did help. They were so kind. They were so considerate. They took me down the back way, so I didn't have to go past the baby and child hospital section, like A&E for babies and children. So I didn't have to go through that part, because obviously I spent a lot of time in that room and that ward. And they put me in a place where there were no babies, and it was very secluded and quite quiet. They were really, really kind, and they did everything. Don't get me wrong, I still did have to wait. However, they did put things in place to just protect me, because I didn't want to be there. But they really did understand what I'd been through, and that this is now going to be a lifelong battle. And that's what I mean by there's just so many fears that I'm now going to have to try and conquer and get over. Once going then through the process, they then said that I would need an operation. And at this point, I was losing my so they said to me that they can fit me in for my operation the next day, and that they can admit me tonight and I can stay overnight and be the first one in tomorrow morning. That wasn't going to work for me. And I just expressed to them that that wasn't going to work for me. And then obviously with everything that they've read up on, they then totally understood. So what they allowed me to do is actually go home, and I then turned up early hours of the morning. Now don't get me wrong, I literally went home and got maybe 4 hours sleep. Bearing in mind I don't really sleep, and I was anxious as yeah, I ended up going home, and then I returned the next day, and I just gave my mum a call just to make sure that she could meet me from the hospital, because obviously I was going to be slightly out of it. When I got there, yet again, they were really kind, very mindful, didn't put me near any children or anything like that. I went in for my op. Now, I just want to talk about a funny thing, and if the I don't know what they call them, a surgeon. If the lady surgeon ever watches this, I am so sorry. Because I flipped. So just, they basically put me in the gown and everything. They wheeled me on the bed, and they wheeled me into one of the rooms, and then I instantly got that PTSD moment. And I literally grabbed the lady's scrub, and I pulled her to me, because obviously she was going to hook me up onto the IV to give me the medication to put me to sleep. And I grabbed the lady's scrubs, and I was just like, don't let me die. No, I was traumatized. She was traumatized. Everybody else was just looking at each other. But I think at that moment, people really understood that this is petrifying for me. I mean, I woke up, I lived to tell the tale, I'm here, nothing was going to happen. It was a small operation, it was nothing big. However, honestly, the way that your mind now thinks moving forward, I think that I assume the worst of everything, and I think I'm going to be that 1%. I'm going to be that small minority, just because I have been that small minority within Luna and Luna passing away and stuff. So yeah, that's now how my mind kind of works. I think it's typically known as fight or flight. So you just assume the worst, and you can either get quite agitated, hysterical, and it's just part of my PTSD, unfortunately. I mean, I had to resuscitate my baby, and that you can't even fathom. I can't even fathom it, and I've been through it, and I have PTSD flashbacks every day to remind me of it, and I still can't even believe it. So yeah, these now do all have consequences and lasting effects. So I just wanted to speak about that experience, because moving forward, if anybody else is in a situation where they're scared too and they have anxiety, please do speak to somebody. Speak to NHS helpline, because obviously they can recommend if you need to go in or not, and they can put notes on the system. I spoke to my GP as well, and yeah, there are people out there that do want to help and are kind and considerate. Please don't feel embarrassed. It is so embarrassing, and I know, like, honestly, I know, but I'm getting to the point now where I've got nothing to be embarrassed of. Like, I've got no shame to lose now. I just feel like when you lose your kids, there's nothing that even compares. Like fallouts, money, just nothing just matters anymore. You're just so consumed with missing your baby and just everything around that. So yeah, I hope this video is helpful for somebody out there, and yeah, there are steps that you can take and put in place. So yeah, I hope you're all doing okay, and I will definitely be back soon with another video. So I'll see you all soon. Take care, everyone.